Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Dealing with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slant. Coach Markus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score room. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the bald Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide? Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. So we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Happy Sunday to you. What's going on? I was not going to go live today. I'm just bored. I'm sitting here watching these games. I'm waiting for the TCU game to start. The TC game did start. Hold on. Must be on another ESPN channel. TCU. So I'm watching Michigan State, Oklahoma. Looks like Oklahoma might take this one. 5-point game, 44 seconds left. They got a shot. TCU just started. So I'm guessing they're going to go to it when this game is over with. But what's going on, man? What's going on? Darth Panda, first out the limo. What's good? Carlos, 63 Mortis. Yes, I am having a good day. I was just chilling. I was like, let me see what's going on. Just did a video about for my Pro Fan Hoops channel about the tournament. Got into a little bit of Audi Crooks. All of a sudden, Audi Crooks is like everybody talking shit on Audi Crooks, and I'm like, where did this come from? Now she's too big to play, and she probably won't be drafted. And I'm like, did y'all see the girl play? She was the only one that scored for Iowa State. It was like it take a team to go deep in the tournament, not one player. So let me see. Oklahoma's up by 5, 74-69. This has been a good game. Oklahoma, Reagan Beer has been pretty good today. But good games today. Want to see TCU. Want to see Olivia Miles play. She had a triple-double first day of the tournament. She come out swinging. So, but another day closer to June 1st. So we'll probably get some more news and some more people expounding on what they think is going to happen with the Philadelphia Eagles. Although I did want to talk about the stuff I heard today. Did y'all see the podcast with Leonard Fournette? And I don't know who the other dude is. I didn't recognize his face. But they were talking about Acho. They went in on Emmanuel Acho. They went in on him. However, I didn't necessarily disagree with their criticisms of Acho. However, they made the fatal mistake. Leonard Fournette did this. He went on his rant, and he talked about, he only started 2 games in his career, this, that, and the third. So he basically saying because he didn't have a Hall of Fame or a good career, he doesn't. He can't talk. And I'm like, hold on, just because somebody, didn't have a Hall of Fame or All-Pro career or only played for a short period of time does not mean that they don't know the game. We've seen plenty of coaches that never played a snap in all different sports that still are good coaches or know what they're talking about. There's plenty of analysts out there that know the games. So I call BS on that. That was just taking some personal attacks. Although I will say sometimes, you know what I say about Acho. Acho be talking that Wile E. Coyote stuff. And he talked that stuff like he the super genius and can't nobody else figure it out. And it's like, come on, dude. It ain't that complicated. But I will say this, although he annoys me, I'm good at if he's going somewhere and I don't want to listen to it, I simply turn him off. Nowadays, people don't want to do that. People don't want to do that. I grew up in the 70s, so I grew up in the era of if you don't want to hang with them, give them a good letting alone. Leave that person alone. Leave that thing alone. You ain't got to engage. And if I don't like something, I don't listen to it. If I want to talk about it, I will listen to get educated on a subject so I can figure out what's going on. Do I do a little homework? Of prime example is when I did that when I talked about the Super Bowl halftime show and Bad Bunny and everybody was crashing out on Bad Bunny whether you liked them or not. And I was like, well, hold on, this you know this is some going. He talking about some stuff that's a little bit deeper than this football game. So I had to do some homework and understand the history of Puerto Rico and stuff like that. And I got educated, and I'm better for it. So sometimes it's a situation like that, but you know, Acho ain't stupid though. There's a reason why you got somebody like Leonard Fournette and the other dude. There's a reason why they're talking about him. So whether they love you or they hate you, as long as they talking about you, that's the only thing that matters. And Acho knows that. Acho, Acho started them same couple of games when he was still on ESPN or Fox or wherever he was doing them shows before everything with Joy Taylor happened and all of that type of stuff. He was still one of the more popular people on TV, and there's a reason for that. So again, whether you love him or hate him, he's polarizing. So regardless of what your opinion is, people still watch. Same way with Stephen A. Smith and some of them other ones. Same way with Shannon Sharp and Ocho. It is what it is. If you don't like it, turn it off. But now it's the de facto, every former player, present company included, stuff going on. Everybody want a podcast now. That's just what everybody's doing. That's just what everybody's doing. So, but you still have to be entertaining. You still have to understand what you're talking about. You still like. I gave you a good example. When I watch Cam Newton's podcast, Cam Newton is hit or miss with me, and it has nothing to do with whether or not he knows what he's talking about. Because most of the time, I'll give Cam credit. He does his homework. I just don't like his delivery sometimes with the yelling and his whole shtick. And I know he's doing it for shtick, but to me, it gets annoying. The same way Acho does with the super genius dialect. It gets annoying to me. So when it gets to that point, I got to turn it off. And I'm good with that. But some people, for whatever reason, they can't turn it off. They got to leave it on. Then they complain that they're watching it, or they complain how bad it is. And I'm like, how you going to complain if you watched it all the way through? Well, just turn it off if you don't like it. And that's, that's an old school thing, I guess. That's an old school thing. Because nowadays, people want to have something to say just so they can say I had something to say. They're not bringing nothing to the conversation. They just want to tell people, yeah, I said this or I said that. Yeah, I was one of the first ones to respond to it. Well, what did you say? And are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? Or did you just want to have something to say? And that's pretty much what it's come to. But it's all good. It's that's the way it goes. All right, Oklahoma just finished them off 77-71. Michigan State ends up 23-9. Oklahoma State moves on to the Sweet 16. But yeah, man. Acho, Leonard Fournette, Shannon Sharp, what's his name? Wilbon. Not Wilbon. What's the dude that is it Wilbon? No, it's not Michael Wilbon. It's what's the big dude that always pisses everybody off? I used to like that dude. What's this? You know what I'm talking about. Put it in the chat. What's old boy's name? The big dude, the fat dude that just nobody can stand him now. Seth Joyner was on the show once. Yeah, the Cardinals lost yesterday. I did see that. Did see that. So but yeah, Mortis, for the most part, these games have gone the way I thought. And it hasn't been any upsets. Hasn't been any upsets. Nothing major. So, and it would not surprise me if UConn does it again. I'm trying to think who can beat UConn. I don't think there's a team out there that can match UConn's firepower. South Carolina is good, but they can't match UConn's firepower. Tessa Johnson gonna have to be on the heater for them to beat UConn. But Sarah Strong is just too good. I think Sarah Strong and Madison Booker would be a good matchup. But who's gonna? I guess Rory is it Rory Hamilton? What's her name? What's the other girl from Texas? Maddie Booker and I think it is Rory Hamilton. I think I had that right. But she would be a good matchup for AZ Fudd. Rory Harmon. Not Hamilton, Rory Harmon. So Maddie Booker had 40 points tonight. She was not playing. Jordan Lee. So I think Texas matches up well against UConn. Just UConn got firepower, though. They got firepower. And South Carolina, South Carolina going to be there. I think South Carolina going to be in the Final Four. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Jason Whitlock. Thank you, Ian. Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock. I used to like Jason Whitlock back in the day. ESPN used to have this show called The Sports Reporters. It was Jason Whitlock. It was Jeremy Schaap. It was Jason Whitlock, Jeremy Schaap, and a couple other guys that I can't remember their names. I know the faces, but I can't remember the names. And just over time, they would have different people pop in. And I used to remember Jason Whitlock because Jason Whitlock used to always cover his coffee when he talked. He would have a cup of coffee. He would always do this thing where he would cover his coffee. And back then, in my opinion, Jason Whitlock was good. Jason Whitlock was good. And then somehow it just went south. I don't know what happened with him. He just got on everybody's nerves. He just started going at people. Like, I don't know. Because some of the stuff I was like, yeah, I ain't feeling you no more, bro. And again, turn it off. That's what I did. Even when Seth was on there, I was like, I ain't feeling it. So, it is what it is. I ain't got to like everybody. It's my opinion. Opinion of like assholes. Everybody got one. And if I don't like it, I will turn it off. Period. So I'm very interested to see what this whole Leonard Fournette thing does now. I'm sure Acho's going to have a comeback, and they're going to start going back and forth. And then Marcellus Wiley will cover it, and other people will talk about it. So it'll get traction. And then Leonard Fournette's podcast will grow a little bit. And, that's the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. So, I need to make some calls so I can get on somebody's bad side if it'll make me get to 20,000. That seems to be the way to go. All right, TCU game is finally on. So they go to Afro, Olivia. Man, can you just imagine if her and Hannah Hidalgo had stayed together? Ooh, good pass, Olivia. No, Mike Tirico was not on there. Mike Tirico was not on there. It was what is the guy's name? Mitch Wilbin. Mitch Wilbin was on there. And then they had like a bunch of different people over time because, people with different schedules. Yeah, Gary Thorne, Dick Shapp was the other guy. Dick Shapp, Mike Lupica, Jeremy Shapp, um, Jeremy's dad, Dick Shapp, and then Will Bond, and there's a bunch of others. They had like a revolving door of people that would come on there. But I do remember Dick Shapp, Jeremy Shapp, John Saunders was on there. Oh, appreciate Travis. What's going on, dude? Appreciate it. Appreciate the memberships. Appreciate the memberships. Appreciate the new members. New members on the squad. New squad mates. That's what I'm talking about. Ghostface Digital. I like that name. Like that name. We rolling up. Contemporary domain. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm digging this. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep joining. Wody Mac. What's up, my guy? What's up, dude? Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Will Bond, not Will Bond, Whitaker or Whitlock. I'm sorry. He does get into a lot of politics, stuff like that. But again, listen, man, I'm gonna stay in my lane. John Saunders was legit, but the funny thing is, man, like even back then, like looking at them names, Gary Thorne, Dick Shapp, John Saunders, Mike Lupica. Mike Lupica was another one, like a real opinionated dude. Like he would, for as many times he would piss you off, he would make sense. So you could go both ways with him. You didn't get tired of listening. Jeremy Shapp was good. I mean, I know it was nepotism, but Jeremy Shapp was good. Jeremy Shapp did a piece a long time ago. Jeremy Shapp did a piece about Bobby Fischer, the chess dude Bobby Fischer. It was phenomenal. And it got into, because apparently Dick Shapp, his father, did a lot for Bobby Fischer. And something happened and Bobby Fischer just flipped on him. And he was like he was racist and hated Jews and anti-Semitic, and like it was like ugly hatred. And Jeremy was just talking to the dude, and like Fisher was like, "Oh, here comes this Jew," and it was bad, like it was uncomfortably bad. But the whole story was about Jeremy chronicling everything his father had done for this dude, and I don't know if it was mental, if his mental health is just in the trash now, or whatever his situation was, but he was like dark. He was dark, but it was a phenomenal story, man. Jeremy Shapp is good, even though he obviously he was accused of nepotism and stuff like that because of his dad. But what you gonna do if your kid show promise? But Jeremy Shapp was good. Jeremy Shapp was good. I can't hate him because his dad got him in the door. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but I guess my point is back then, Thorne, both Shapp, Saunders, John Saunders, Mike Lupica, heck, even Whitlock back then, everybody was good because everybody was still being beat reporters and they did their homework. And back then, everybody, if somebody wrote something bad about you, I've said this many times before, if somebody wrote something bad about you, usually at some point in time, you were going to see them people face to face. When I played, when I'd be in the locker room with Seth and Clyde and Randall and Calvin and Freddie B and the Fridge and all of them, Eric Allen, Andre Waters, Wes Hop, trying to remember all the dudes that was on the Willie T, Byron Evans, Eric McMillan, Mark McMillan. We had a squad. Keith Millard, Tim Harris. Remember Tim Harris from the 49ers? He was the poster child for getting drunk before getting drunk was the thing. He was the guy that was doing it first, getting suspended and all that kind of stuff. That dude was wild. But Gerald Nichols, Rich Miano, sometimes I forget all of the great guys that I played with. I played with Mark Bavaro, y'all. from the Giants. Mark Bavaro, that used to have the big guns. Now, when he came to Philly, he was pretty much at the end of his career. But yo, I played ball with Mark Bavaro. I played ball with Kenny Lofton. Kenny Lofton was on our team for a hot second, you know. But I digress. My point was simply saying that back then, if a reporter wrote something, they had to come see you. They had to come see you because you wrote for a paper. So they had their little mini tape cassettes and they stick it in your face. They do the same thing now, except now it's just their phone. But they would take the tapes back, write the story, and they had to get it submitted to the Philadelphia Inquirer because it was in the paper. Them dudes had to come see you. So there had to be at least a minimal level of respect, and they had to have the balls to come in the locker room and look you face to face after they done wrote something crazy. And it was probably, it was a lot of uncomfortable conversations, but that was the job. That was the gig. So all of that under the umbrella of it's just different now. And the people that talk a lot of shit and say what they saying, they ain't got nobody that can check them. Just like I was saying earlier about the girl Audi Crooks. Now all of a sudden everybody body shaming Audi Crooks. If you don't know who Audi Crooks is, that's the young lady that plays for Iowa State. The girl is 6'3", about 250, 260. Like, she's huge. She's a big girl. But she always been a big girl. She was a big girl when she was a freshman. And she still averaged like 25 points a game and all of that stuff. Now all of a sudden, everybody got something to say about her size. And I'm like, where did this come from? This girl been balling all year. They got bounced yesterday. So now everybody's trying to wonder if she's going to come back. Because I think she's a junior. But knowing the women graduate earlier than the guys do, So I don't know what her situation is with class. Hell, she may have graduated already. So, but, everybody's saying nonsense just so they can try to bully people. King DV, I watch strictly women. I do not watch the men basketball. I have not watched men's basketball in almost 6 to 7 years. I see it. I see highlights, but I prefer to watch the women's game. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Kenny Lofton was passing through. He broke some record when he was there. And then as soon as he broke it, he got up out of there. Yeah, Stephen A. Still's talking about LeBron. It's like, and let me be honest with you, I used to love Stephen A. I used to like Stephen A. because Stephen A. cut his teeth here in Philadelphia. So he was integral with the Philadelphia Inquirer back in the day, and he was a big name here in Philly. So Stephen A. knows his stuff, but Stephen A. is another one. Like, people just get tired of listening to him with the shouting and the loud. And I've met Stephen A. Smith in person twice, both times at the Apple store when I was working for Apple. And whenever celebrities or athletes used to come in, they used to always give them to me. Because number one, I wasn't intimidated. Number two, I was still relatively in shape. So I looked the part. I was always the guy at the Apple store. Like, if a problem customer come in, they would give them to me. Because we would have guys and we would have customers that would come in and try to intimidate some of our women, like stuff like that. So they would, I would just be there, just like kind of the way we could tag team and like, hey, you're not gonna disrespect her and say, crazy stuff. But in any case, Stephen A. Smith came in there twice. One time he came in, it was super busy. It was like on a Saturday morning. It's crazy in the Apple store on Saturday morning. We would slam pack, shoulder to shoulder crowd in there. He walks in and he wants preferential treatment. And you don't really want to do that. But I understand, because when you in there, everybody hits the Everybody sees him, recognizes him, and then people start talking, and then all it takes is one person to come up and ask him for an autograph or something. He was with a young lady and a baby and didn't want to be bothered. So it's like, my man, can you know that? And I will say this, and I'm saying this from experience, because both times in the store, I dealt with them. And both times, what you see on television is exactly how he is in real life. Now, maybe not as loud, but like the attitude and his cadence and how he comes across, that is exactly how he is, period. He is not fronting. What you see is what you get. Like I said, maybe not as loud, but what you see is what you get. And just from that standpoint, I can respect that, because you get a lot of people that come in and it ain't the same. So, but Stephen A been around for so long, and he been winning for so long. What happens when you always winning? Everybody start hating on you. You turn into the Patriots. Everybody hated the Patriots when Tom Brady was winning all them damn championships. But you know what? People forget when the Patriots wasn't winning shit. Before Tom Brady, the best season I believe the Patriots had was when they went to the Super Bowl, back when my man Irvin Fryer was still playing with them. And they lost in the Super Bowl. But, you know, now all of a sudden they winning all the championships and people can't stand them. Well, when they was losing, you weren't worried about. So, listen, man. Yes, you are exactly right. Because I will say this, man. Like, sometimes them people walk in that store, man, some of them customers, man, was straight up assholes. Straight up. We had people would come in and I don't want to work with them. Well, why not? I just don't like them. Or you had some people from other countries and they feel a certain kind of way about women. I don't want to work with women. You know, I saw this for myself. I'm with my coworker, and this gentleman, we'll just call him the gentleman. Uh, you know, there was a thing. If you have been into an Apple store, you know, when as soon as you walk in the store, like, hey, how can we help you? People come to you. Apple is known for their customer service, right? So we standing by each other. She goes to greet this dude twice. She was like, hi, how can I help you? Twice. And he straight up ignored her because he didn't want to deal with a woman. Now, after the second time, she was like, F him. And then somebody else swung around and asked him, did he need any help? And then it was a guy. So he was like, blah, blah, blah. He was all talkative. Oh, she was pissed. And I don't blame her. And I'm saying all that to say, you would see stuff like that all the time. So yes, was I an enforcer? I wouldn't use the word enforcer, but I can project a stern aura when I wanted to. And the store leaders would tell me sometimes, like, hey coach, can you give some backup over here just to be there, just as a presence? And that's what I would do sometimes, because, like, again, people are assholes. So, but it was cool, man. It was cool. But I'm telling that story. All of that revolves around what I was saying about Stephen A. Smith. You know, he is who he says he is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody seemed to be going at Acho, but Acho was turning into like Stephen A. Smith. I guarantee you, Acho gonna have another show. Acho trying to catch Shannon. He trying to catch Shannon Sharp. So give him time, he'll do it. My wife just sent me what is this? Antonio Brown's $4 million Florida mansion hits the market amid bankruptcy. Oh my God. Antonio Brown is the poster child for CTE, man. That brother. Oof. He ain't been the same since he took that hit. What's up, K-Sap? What's good with you? I'm just riffing, dude. I wasn't even gonna go live tonight, man. I was bored. I went upstairs. My wife was at her desk in her office chair. She got one of them big old office chairs. She had fallen asleep. So yeah, man. You feel listen, I don't, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I feel bad for him. I feel bad for anybody because to be real, if you play football at the professional level, everybody's suffering from some form of CTE. When I go back and talk to some of my homies that I play high school ball with, the guys that I know that, it's 3 guys on my high school team that we all made it to the show. And but we talk about that every time we get together. It's like, dude, like my marbles ain't rolling around in my head, but I know my short-term memory is trash. And I know that shit is from football. My wife tells me that all the time. My wife will tell me something, or I'll forget it in 5 minutes. Or I'll meet somebody and if I don't write their name down, I'm lost. I'm lost. But I can tell you something I did. I can tell you a cartoon I was watching in 1980. Like I can go back, like I could tell you when I got my first concussion ever. When I was 10 years old playing football in St. Louis, Missouri. I remember those. I remember the address of the house we grew up in Cincinnati, in College Hill. So different things I can remember going way back. But if I meet somebody or I gotta write stuff down. I just do. Like it'll be people coming to the house or I'm somewhere talking business. I will pick up my phone, hit the audio record on my phone. I'll record that whole conversation because if something happened, like when I go to the doctors or something, my wife would be like, "What the doctor say?" I'd be like, "I'm gonna play it for you right now," because I won't remember shit. So, yeah, I saw that he catching heat from that. I heard he got a call from Roger Goodell. And let me just say this about the whole Scatterboo thing and how the NFL looks at that in general. Let me say it like this: I get the opportunity to take part in the competition committee meetings. Troy Vincent is the head of competition for the NFL. Our Troy Vincent. So I get a chance to take part. They have Zoom calls. I'll tap in for a Zoom call. And basically, you might have 100 former players just listening. We get the opportunity to ask questions and stuff like that. But I will say this. When it comes to injuries, when it comes to CTE, when it comes to roughing the passer, when it comes to all of that type of stuff, hip drop tackles, all of that, the NFL ain't playing. They are trying to get rid of some of that, a lot of that stuff. They're trying to get rid of out of the league. The showboating. Why you think they came down so hard at all of the, the gun celebrations and all of that? They was not playing. They were not playing. The whole thought process of the roughing the passers, the thought process about the CTE, the thought process about the kickoff coverage. I played football in the times where you had the wedge. I was a part of a wedge a couple times, so I understand that. But Troy said something one time, and this was about. This is when they really started cracking down on the concussions and the roughing the passers and the hits and all of that kind of stuff. And what he said was he had talked to some guys. He didn't mention any names, but he had talked to some former players that had suffered the concussions from kickoff coverage and things of that nature. And literally, he was like, and I don't feel good about it. It's a bad situation. And if it's something that we can do to stop that, that's what we're going to do. And that's where it comes from. I don't like it. A lot of the other guy, a lot of the vets and stuff, like a lot of the current players don't like the way they calling the rules, and you can't even celebrate with them throwing the flag. Nobody likes that shit, but they calling it anyways. They trying to get all of that stuff out of the game because they are so focused on becoming global, and they are legitimately attracting the global market now. And that's what they trying to clean up the nonsense, because other countries, they don't operate like we operate, and some of the stuff that we do, it turns them off. So they ain't messing with that check. You know how that go. They ain't messing with that check. How was my body holding up? I'm good, other than the fact that I just got a letter that said they're gonna move me to defensive end because I was damn near 260 pounds. But other than that, I'm good, man. Um, I worked out the other day, and when I say worked out, I just woke up in the morning and just cranked out like 100 air squats. I'm gonna start jumping rope again, but for the most part, man, I ain't got time to go to a gym and all that kind of stuff. I'll go to the park, walk around, run some hills, or I will get my heavy ropes out, my cross ropes, and I will just jump rope. But I ain't running no 40s no time soon. Um, my knees, my knees are okay, but there's some things like I can't do lunges anymore because just trying to come up off a lunge, my knees just they just hurt. But other than that, I'm good. I don't have nothing crazy, nothing serious. I've never broken a bone. I've never torn a knee, a ligament, uh, never torn anything. The worst injury I had from football was a concussion, and B, when I was in college, I got a real bad shoulder bruise, bone bruise in my shoulder that kept me out a couple games. And of course, being a running back, you bound to sprain an ankle. That comes with the territory. But I've never had to do a rehab, never had knee reconstruction, nothing like that. So I'm lucky. Knock on wood. Yeah. Yeah, when I do the electric slide or the Cupid shuffle, when they say crisscross, I gotta be careful. So yeah, Carlos, yeah, man. I say that a lot. I say that a lot. I remember the last year when I was in the World League, I thought I broke my shoulder. I was on a play and I went up to block this DB. This dude was just straight yoked. Dude, we were about the same size, 5'10". Um, he may have been an inch or so smaller, but he was cranked. He was a defensive back or a free safety, and I came up to block him, and I made the mistake of kind of going in low with my left shoulder, and he put a hit on me, and my left arm just dropped. And I remember immediately he stood up. He was like, "Y'all better come get him. Y'all better come get him." And I walked off the field. I could not feel my fingers. I could not move my arm. And I was on the sideline for about I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And the trainer was just trying to get feeling back in my arm. And eventually she got my arm and just started snapping my arm and, rubbing and scratching and eventually the the feeling came back in my hands. I ended up going back in the game, but that was probably the scariest thing because I really thought I like either separated my shoulder or broke a shoulder or something because I couldn't feel nothing. I couldn't move anything. Um, but other than that, like I said, a couple bad concussions. That was it. That was it. Oh yeah, bro. I told that story, man. First time I played at the vet. Um, you a rookie. You do special teams, and I think I was in maybe on a couple tackles. I don't even remember. But getting tackled on the vet turf, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it didn't hurt or anything. But I remember that first game at the vet, being in the showers after that game, and just everything was stinging. because I got all of them carpet burns and rug burns from that vet turf. That vet turf was horrible. So, but other than that, you know, wasn't too bad. So, um, if you can guess a percentage of players that have suffered more post NFL from injuries, are opposed to the I mean, like it's a lot because it's a lot that people don't see. Um, like as a as a for instance, you look at what Landon Dickerson had to deal with this year, right? And you compare that to you look at somebody like Mark Schlereth. Go look up Mark Schlereth um, on YouTube and see how many knee surgeries he had. I Joker had like 10, 12 knee surgeries or something goofy like that. But like he was a warrior, but it was and I've heard him say that on TV before. But he played for a long time. He played for Denver and let me see. Let me see. He played for the Redskins and Denver. And he had let me see. No, I can find out how many knee surgeries did Mark Schlereth have in his NFL career? Now, this is what Gemini is saying. This is what the AI is telling me. Mark Schlereth underwent 20 knee surgeries during his 12-year NFL career from 1989 to 2000 with the Skins and the Broncos. Out of 29 total surgeries, the 20 knee procedures, 15 on the left, 5 on the right, led him to being dubbed the Bionic Man. And I'm saying that to answer your question about how many people, like the stuff that we go through and why you see that so many players now are retiring at like 30, 28, 29. You saw Bryce Huff just retire. You know, Bryce Huff is not even 30 yet. But if you think about it, like, think about it like this. If you, now I'm saying this now and I'm 55, right? If I could be 30 years old again with a couple mil in the bank, like now that you know better, and I'll also hindsight being 2020, but you get what I'm saying. Now these kids are a lot smarter because you got more avenues, more things that you can do. You got more reach. You know, I'm talking on the podcast, but I've had people listening to me in Australia. So you have more reach now, and there's other things that you can do to make that money. So people are doing it, and they don't want to have to, beat themselves up. And I've told you guys this before. Um, Two guys that I played with are gone. I played with Wes Hopkins. He's gone. And more famously, I played with Andre Waters. He's gone. Both from CTE. So I don't take stuff like that lightly. And not, if it ain't CTE, like how many people out there um are not moving around good? Like I played with the Fridge and I could tell, like even back then, now when the Fridge was with Philly, obviously he wasn't like the Fridge that was in Chicago because that Fridge could dunk. He was 300 something pounds and was getting that ball up there, and he was a freakish athlete. But he was at the end of his career in Philly, and you could just tell like he looked like his knees hurt and his hips hurt. And as he got older, it got worse. Now there's guys like that can barely move and could, that sort of thing. Their knees are just all jacked up. So, I mean, it's not all like head injuries and stuff like that. Some guys just it's hard for them to move these days, or it's hard for them to wake up, get out of bed, and it takes a lot for them for their body to get warmed up and all of that type of stuff. So if it ain't one thing, it's the other. So again, I count myself as lucky. My short time in the NFL was a blessing in disguise because I'm not suffering anything. I'm not, I can walk up the steps. I can jump around and go outside and jump rope. I can crank out 20 push-ups or do 100 squats. You know what I'm saying? Pick up my grandson, all that type of stuff. So I do count myself as lucky. Yeah, they not messing around. I'm telling you, these kids are realizing, like, hold on, I'm 26, 27 years old, and I got a $6.7 million signing bonus. So that money's in the bank. Plus what I'm gonna make this year. Plus, if I hang around till I'm 28, 29 years old, then you got pension, then you like all of that type of stuff. Like they got it made in the shade. I joke around like, yo, I played in the wrong era. Cause like now the when I played, minimum salary was like $100K in 1993. Now minimum salary for a rookie in the league is like $700-800, $800,000. It's ridiculous. Let me see. Hold on. Rookie minimum in the NFL. Rookie minimum in the NFL is 840 grand. If you make 840 grand, let me see. Let's work this out. What are the taxes on 840K living in New Jersey? Living in South New Jersey. Let's work this out. So the taxes, it says it would be between 15 and 25 grand per year. So that means you roughly have like around 770, 780. That's still, you can live comfortably for 2 to 3 years off of that. Easily. Unless you live in like New York or LA or something like that. But you get what I'm saying. So it's made, now you got these kids. Even if you make league minimum and you manage to stick around for 3-4 years, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. So, Carlos, I'm with you. Let me call up Jeffrey Lurie. Like, yo, man, let me ride around with Big Dom on the cart. So I'm trying to work some stuff out now, man. Matter of fact, I left a message with one of the guys with the Eagles today. So I don't want to jinx myself. So I'm gonna keep that to myself until I make it happen. And then when I make it happen, I'll let everybody know. But I'm trying to make some moves this year. So, hey, that's why everybody want to go down to Florida. That's why everybody want to go down to Florida. They want to be drafted by Miami. For that reason right there. So, but in any case, we got a lot of mo that's got to happen. With all this AJ Brown talk, with just everything that's going on, Tanner McKee, even Tanner McKee was in the news. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Nina. I appreciate that. Trying to figure out what they want to do with AJ, with Tanner, with I saw the thing. I saw the flag football, some of the flag football stuff. Of course, now everybody's like, "Oh, Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith ain't got nothing to worry about if you in Philly." And I'm like, "Yeah, they playing flag football. Stop playing. Devontae Smith was running by a YouTube influencer. Like, stop playing with me. He ain't running against Patrick Surtain. You know what I mean? So um, people get a little bit too hyped off of that stuff. Yes, he did. Now, Jalen threw a good pass. Yes, he did. I saw it. He also threw a pick six, but I mean, much ado about nothing. Much ado about nothing. Yeah, it's pick six. You know, I ain't worried about damn flag football. Stop with that. Got bigger things, bigger fish to fry. So yeah, I know, but you understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Speed is fast. Speed is fast. But we all know that let speed get on the field with a full arsenal of pads. Dress them up. Remember that? Remember that? I don't think y'all remember back in the day. They put Carl Lewis in pads. And it's like, bro, it ain't the same. You carrying around, 10 pounds of weights plus your helmet, because back then helmets was heavy as hell. So, yeah, not a word about Burrow's pick six. It's all good. Let them have their fun. Let them have their fun. So, Speed almost beat Noah Lyles in the race. Yeah, but I'm not. Come on now. You really think if Noah Lyles was serious and all of that kind of stuff, Speed could beat Noah Lyles? And I show Speed is a fast dude, but almost don't count. Almost don't count. And now if Noah Lyles was serious, there would be no contest. So I'm not, and I'm not even the biggest Noah Lyles fan, but yeah. So I take instinctual speed over straight line speed on the field any day. Yeah, Cause horseshoes and hand grenades. You already know. You already know. But it's all something to talk about. So it's all just something to talk about. So what's popping on? What is the score? It is what is TCU doing? TCU was losing, I believe. Washington is up 27-19. Oh my God, at halftime. They ain't doing nothing. Wow, this might be the first big update upset. TCU going down to number 6 Washington. Any new games am I playing? No. Other than Marathon, no. No. I made the choice to play Marathon. But I don't have time to play a bunch of different games. I'm actually messing around with this game called Beam NG. It's a driving game. Because I'm actually using it to create some ads for the company I work for. So I like to use any medium to do what I need to do. So because I work for a classic car company, we working on some new products and stuff like that where I can use the game engines, because now the environments and stuff you see in the game engine, man, you put that stuff through Photoshop, put a couple filters on it, make that stuff look cinematic. I don't put many ads together using Unreal Engine, Twin Motion, Blender 3D, and nobody is the wiser. Nobody is the wiser. So that's what I'm doing right now. So that's the only other game that I'm playing. I was playing Demio on my MetaQuest. I haven't played that in a good minute because I finished the regular campaign, but I haven't had a chance to really sit down and play it. I've said this before. I would love to have time to really sit with a group and do a campaign in Dungeons and Dragons. I just do not have that type of time. I can't sit down because I watch Critical Role and some of the other shows, but I just can't sit down and go 5 hours. Ain't no way. My wife would kill me. but I would still love to do like hook up with somebody, do like a one shot or something like that. I found this. I think I told you guys this before. I created a D&D character. I went to the D&D website, created a character that is this. It's called an Aerococra, which is a bird person. It is a bird person. Um, but I created this character called Philly that is basically a part man, part eagle with wings and all of that type of stuff. Emerald tip wings that grew up in the mountains. Like I went deep for this. I researched the this map and I found these mountains, and this is all legit D&D lore and stuff like that. So I found the map, went to these mountains, and come to find out, in these particular mountains, you had all these different tribes and stuff like that. So I made up this story how this tribe that lived in the mountains that would worship birds and stuff like that, birds of prey. Um, Killing a bird of prey was a bad omen for this particular tribe, and they shot down the bird by mistake. And when they realized it was a bird of prey, they nursed it back to health. And the bird became part of their tribe, used to scout for them, to hunt, and all that kind of stuff. And they were surprised that the bird could talk and was smart. They didn't know it was an Aerococra. So, but anyways, I'm getting too nerdy on you. So, congratulations, man. My anniversary is March 29th. Me and my wife been married for 29 years, bro. So yeah, that's just Marathon is the only game I'm playing right now. Yeah, that's the only one I really have time to play. So I thought about getting like a driving game or something like that, but again, other than stuff that I already have, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So, are you doing a homebrew Fallout 4? Nice. Yeah, I like the traditional D&D stuff. You know, I'm an '80s kid, so growing up playing what was the game? Gauntlet. Remember Gauntlet? You had to play with 4 players in the arcade. So yeah, Chris. Yeah, man. I beat the average. The average marriage is like 7 years. So I'm 29 in, bro. So all right, Carlos. I'll holler at you, bro. I'm gonna slide out in a minute either. We've been rocking for an hour. Um so yeah, man. It's Q. I did not play Resident Evil 9. I did not. I watched it. I watched the complete walkthrough of it. But I didn't play Resident 7, 8, or 9. I did not play. The last Resident Evil I played was Resident Evil 4 when they were in Brazil somewhere with the girl Shiva. That was the last one that I actually played. So, so no. I got matter of fact, I got to record some more marathon stuff for my channel. If you haven't seen my channel, it's called Coach Marcus Games. Matter of fact, I was supposed to do a review of the next Spider-Man movie. I saw the trailer come out, and I meant to do a review of that because I'm trying to do like games and nerd culture and stuff like that. So I will definitely put a review out for that soon. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, there we go. I thought you subscribed. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. Second screen. Oh, there we go. So yeah, this is So that's the game channel. I don't have much on here. I got like 24 subs. I only have like 36 videos. You see like some of the marathon stuff up there. I did a review of the Green Lantern movie. So I got to do Spider-Man stuff. I got videos up here like with one view, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know how it is starting a YouTube channel from scratch. That's the way it goes. So if you like games, nerd culture, stuff like that, check it out, subscribe. I appreciate the support. So, but yeah, man, I'm gonna get back to this game. TCU is still down, but we got a lot of basketball to play. You know what I'm saying? So, but this will be an upset, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It is 27-19. So you're talking about an 8-point game. And it's not even, is it? Yeah, it's halftime now. So they just came out of halftime. 27-19. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Definitely gonna get up out of here. But stay tuned. I know there's gonna be some more news coming out this week. More machinations of the NFL tradings. A lot of stuff coming out. So y'all stay tuned. I appreciate you. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. Thank you to all the people that joined in, became members. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the gifted memberships, all of that. So I'm gonna get up out of here. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening, the rest of y'all Sunday, and I will see y'all next week, bright and early Monday morning. I'll let y'all later. And as usual, go Birds.